to the Coffin Works on the latest report of its redevelopment. So here with me is Sarah and Dawn. So Sarah, what's going to be happening?
Well, last time we met, AJ, we were talking about future plans and bringing objects back, and it was very much in the future. But for the last 2 weeks, we've been moving all the objects back, and we're going to continue to do that for the next 2 weeks and start dressing all the rooms.
Dressing the rooms? So what does that mean?
Well, these rooms have been empty for the past 7 years. So what it means is, when we return all the objects back, I'm going to get all the objects out of the boxes and put them back on the shelves, on the benches, and hopefully try and return them to their original positions to create an idea of what this place looked like before everything was moved. And also, I have my trusty sidekick Dawn to help me with that process too.
Well, I was a funeral director in the 1980s and the 1990s, so I came here as a volunteer so that I could help look at the core collection and also look at the fittings so that I could identify dates, identify the brochures, see what dates the brochures were, the catalogues, look at the fittings to see what the fittings were and what they weren't, so I could explain why they were used and how they were used.
Oh, can we have a look at what you've been doing?
Of course, let's go.
Coffin Works opened in 1894 and closed its doors for the very last time in 1998. Now it's been turned into Birmingham's latest and most unusual tourist attraction. So where are we?
We're actually in the warehouse, and Newman Brothers were known for making a variety of products, and this is where they would have packed all of those products in their famous brown boxes and their brown paper. So what I'm going to do, along with Dawn, is unpack all of these boxes, take the brown boxes out, and then attempt to put them back in their original positions and recreate this bustling, busy atmosphere of the warehouse.
All the boxes of artefacts. Oh, so there you are, Shannon.
So, I wonder what are in these boxes. Dawn, can you tell us?
Inside these boxes are lots of artefacts that are all going to go on display. So there are lots of boxes and boxes within boxes, because these are the boxes that have the original labelling on. As you see on the racking, there are some original labels, and what our aim is to put all of the boxes back in the original places where they used to be.
So Dawn, what do we have here?
Well, let's have a look. You can see on the box lid it says that it's a Newman Falmouth handle, and inside here is a coffin handle. Feel it? It's a metal handle with a gold covering, so they would have been used perhaps around the 60s or 70s and the early part of the 80s maybe. So that's a coffin handle. When we're looking at all the items for display, we'll see different colours, different materials, metal handles, plastic handles. The decoration will be slightly different and they'll be called different names. So there are all lots of things, exciting things to look at in these boxes.
So Dawn, what are these used for?
Well, these are called castle screws, and they're the screws that are used to attach the coffin lid to the rest of the coffin. You'll see they're a plastic version, but we also have metal versions that are used sort of in the 60s or prior to that. And in here, have we got another one? Yeah, that's again plastic, and that's a silver version of it. So let's have a look at this box. There's some really interesting items in here. First of all, you've got a Roman Catholic crucifix, and you see how dull the finish is.
Why is it like that?
That means to me is that it wasn't a finished product. So Newman Brothers just had these cast, but there was no finish. You see there are no colour on top, no silver or no gold or no nickel covering on them. So that's quite a good example of an unfinished object.
So, what's this then?
Well, that is a really old coffin handle, and when we've looked in the catalogues, that handle is dated from the 1924 catalogue.
So, what about this one?
Well, this, Shannon, is why it's been so useful having an ex-funeral director working with me, because Dawn said that the at-rest ornament, and that's what we call it, was only really used on Church of England funerals.
So if you look at the registration mark on this, it says M719 for Newman Brothers registration, and if you look in the 1960s catalogue, it's corresponded there, so you can see that it's the same item.
And this one looks like that one.
That's right, hold it against it, you'll see there you go, there it is.
There were about 20,000 coffin handles, over 1,000 crucifixes, and tens of thousands of smaller ornaments plus decorative fixings to be sorted.
Does anybody have N298? All of these things here need to be here by the 24th of October.